Mike's on the clock. So this first pick, this was the Chicago Bears. I'm sure everybody who's watching this is already familiar with it. In my opinion, the Panthers gave up way too much to get a quarterback from this class, but they have to. Like, it would be insane if they didn't take a quarterback or trade out of this position.
You don't know that they're going to quarterback. Mike's the GM. Mike could pick whatever he wants right now, even though I think he's taking a quarterback. But like I'm with you, Tony. I think they traded way too much to go from 9 to 1. And then Drew Rosenhaus, the agent for DJ Moore, did you guys see him on Pat McAfee? Or he was talking about how the Panthers were crying that they gave up DJ Moore. So if you knew it was a bad deal when you were doing it and you didn't want to give up the player, why'd you make the trade? And I think they regret it after seeing all the hype and stuff, and some of this calmed down a little bit. I think the Panthers are going to regret moving up to number 1.
We'll see. I think that when you talk about moving up to number 1, I only would make that package and make that deal happen for a sure thing, like you guys are saying. The move up for Trey Lance didn't make any sense to me a couple years ago either, because it wasn't a sure thing. These quarterbacks, all of them have red flags, all of them have strengths, all of them have some room to grow and some developing to do to become worthy of a top 5 pick in the first place, let alone worthy of being traded up for inside the top 5 at 1 overall. So the Panthers also gave away the receiver in that trade draft. By the way, everyone, I would like for y'all to like the video real quick. It helps us out so much in the YouTube algorithm and finding success with these videos. We put some effort into them. So if you like the content, please like the video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel with notifications on, we go live like this multiple times a week. So turn on those notifications. But who I'm going with here, Joe? I'm going with the quarterback out of Alabama, Bryce Young, as the first overall pick.
Excellent.
I know Panthers fans want Cj Stroud, and there is some stuff that would point towards Cj Stroud being the pick. I think that Bryce Young is ready. He's the most ready to jump in there right now, and his pocket presence is the biggest thing for me that I think takes him to the next level and makes him the first overall pick in this draft. His red flag is size, and you're worried about him getting hurt. Everyone has red flags, and I'll take the size and injury risk red flag over struggling to get through his reads, inaccurate, turnover prone, and some of the other red flags of the quarterbacks this year. Also, I kind of want to see what it looks like with different quarterbacks. And I know when I'm out of control of the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young might not get taken in every single one of the mock drafts here. A lot of people like Stroud.
Mike, I agree with you. If you're trading up, giving up this much to trade to number 1, like, I think you have to get the best player at the position. Like, you have to throw out prototype because, and I've talked to you guys about this privately. I've had to throw out a lot of my Ohio State bias and watching, where it's like, I looked at a player who was like, he was good, but he was playing with like top 10 receiver talent in the NFL the entire time that he was there. And I know that Bryce Young has had a similar run of wide receivers, but it just didn't feel right. And then I watched the Georgia game and I was like, oh, hadn't seen that mobility. I hadn't seen anything. So then all of a sudden it was like, now there was a tier where before it was Bryce Young. After the Georgia-Ohio State game, it became Cj Stroud on that level. And that's one really good game after both teams had like a month off. So I wonder, like, Georgia's defense would have been in mid-season form. Would that game have looked different? And would CJ still be being talked about at that? I still think he's worthy of being the second quarterback drafted, but I'd be trading up for Bryce Young in this spot.
What separated it for me too, and what has Bryce Young at QB1 for me, is just that magic. He almost has like the instincts inside the pocket to where he's light on his toes, but he's not getting knocked around. He's able to manipulate and move around the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, but also have like just this sixth sense that some quarterbacks have that almost seems like you can't teach, that knows a guy is a couple feet from hitting him from behind and takes that extra step in or takes that extra step back to the left, to the right, wherever it might be. CJ Stroud has that. It's just not as electric or explosive as Bryce Young's ability to avoid guys in the pocket.
I like Bryce Young, but my favorite quarterback in the draft is CJ Stroud. I'm telling you that right now. I like CJ Stroud. Some of me, when I look at CJ Stroud, I go, dang, he has 2 first-round offensive tackles. He has some bad wide receivers there. He had like an all-star. But then you go look at Bryce Young, same thing. So same thing, but I like what CJ Stroud's doing. I like everything about him.